Time for a bit of this. No, we're not dancing or sashaying. I can't even say it just yet. We are reading and we're writing and we're just calming it down a bit, aren't we, Craig? Strictly Come Dancing Judge, Craig Revel Horwood. You've written your first novel. It's out now, Dances and Dreams on Diamond Street. It tells the story of a group of people who each rent a room in the same townhouse. Well, I'm very chuffed to bits to welcome you to the programme this morning, Craig. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastically well. Yeah, it's so exciting having my first piece of fiction out there, darling. I've really enjoyed it enormously. Of course, it does relate a little bit to myself. I mean, there are some truths in there. Obviously, I put the leading character is called Danny Hall, and he's a guy that has had a dance career and has to hang up his dance shoes because he's nervous, of course, of what's going to happen to him when he's not able to dance anymore. And of course, he's at a major crossroads, like the rest of the characters in the house, in this house share in Camden Town, where there's lots of people, living together under the one roof. A lot of people know about now because of COVID, of course, and it's been amplified enormously, the emotional journey that people go in when they're all stuck in a place together. So it was great to write something that was based on truth, obviously, but fictional, because then you could go anywhere you wanted with the characters. But of course, Danny is sort of me in the book, actually, because I do relate to that, a lot. So it was great to be able to get a lot of those stories that I couldn't put in my autobiography sort of out there, but in fiction form. And I loved every bit of it, and especially being in lockdown, where you've got very little to do and you still want to be productive. I thought it was the best thing that I could do, and I'd had this idea really since the 90s, after I finished living in this house here for 5 years, when I first got I saved up enough money at the time to buy a property in London, which I was very pleased with. And there was a means to an end, but it is, it's a romantic one as well. It's not all doom and gloom,
Craig,
of actors.
We see you on the telly and you're this larger than life character, so showbiz. It's quite hard to imagine you sitting there just writing quietly.
Really? I've written 3 autobiographies so far. I've written a book on ballroom dance, and I don't know, I find it really fascinating, and I love it because it's a form of escapism, actually. You're making stuff up, you're being creative,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, okay, where can that character go next? And it's exactly sort of what I do for a living anyway as a director. You're constantly pulling the text apart and deciding, oh, where can that character go next? And what would be great if, wouldn't it be great if that character slept with that one, and then that happened, and then something else happened? You can just go to town and let your imagination run riot. And I loved it. It was so much more freeing than doing an autobiography. I can't tell you. Loved it.
Fantastic.
So I'm
Craig,
hoping everyone at home gets it and enjoys that with me.
next weekend, you're back on the telly. How excited are you about this new series? Come on.
Well, I am, and I'm so pleased that the BBC are able to do it, in the present circumstances, because of the government guidelines. It's very, very difficult to get 2 people dancing together, of course, but they're forming exclusive support bubbles, which is something obviously available to everyone in the public as well. And you see, once they're in that bubble, they can think of themselves as members of their household, as one single household.
Yeah.
So that's how that's being managed to go on. But I mean, it's really exciting because I think the BBC have been pushed into creative corners, and out of being pushed into a corner to escape it, you need to come up with new and fantastic ideas. And I think that's what people at home will see. And plus, the lead up to Christmas would not be the same without it. It's a family friendly, gorgeous show. It's live. It's not a repeat. We're all used to seeing these repeats and only watching Netflix and all of that. So it's really nice to see something real happening that is live, that gives us a sense of security, and hope for the future. And if this works out well, which I'm sure it will do, because there's so many things in place to protect people, then other shows could go ahead with maybe the same sort of format. I think it's really groundbreaking, and it'll be really fantastic. And very excited, darling, to see Bill Bailey up there dancing. He's one of my favourite comedians. I love his music, so I'm so looking forward to that. And of course,
before
lots
you
of
go,
others,
Craig,
Quentin.
I do have to, sorry to interrupt you there, I do have to ask you, obviously, here at BBC Radio Lancashire, we're rooting for Ranveer Singh, former newsreader and journalist from BBC Radio Lancashire. How do you think she'll get on? Because we are so excited to follow her progress.
Well, we have seen newsreaders and that sort of thing in the past, and they're not done particularly well, but she can change the face of it, darling. So I'm going to give her all my love, and I want her. You know, I'm praying that she's absolutely fantastic. So the proof will be in her left and right leg.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time on the programme this morning. That was Craig Revel Horwood there. Obviously, Strictly Judge, been there since time began on the show, 2004. I had so many more questions I wanted to ask him, but sadly we were out of time this morning. As he was saying there, he's written his first novel. It's out now, Dances and Dreams on Diamond Street.